Well, hey there. I'm Pastor Cody.
And I'm Pastor Matt.
And we are here on this Thursday, right here. And it is Thursday today.
Yeah, it is.
To have ourselves a conversation.
Yep.
We were out last week. We were all at a conference in Florida. And we missed you dearly.
Yeah.
But here we are. We are back again in the saddle.
What a week.
Yeah, it was an incredible week.
What a week.
Yeah, Converge and Unleashed, they just put on a great conference.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
I mean, it couldn't have been any better, honestly.
No.
Best Unless you were one of the speakers.
Because the world's best boss would be there speaking. I did not do this. He did it.
I said, hey, you get the world's best boss mug today. I'm nobody's boss, so it fits.
Yeah. Anyway, the conference was unbelievable, though. It was so good. Best conference I've ever been a part of, and that's not saying much.
Best non-IFB conference I've ever been to, and that's one.
Man, the only thing that was better than that conference last week was pastor school.
Well, never mind.
Yeah.
I won't go there. But yeah, it was great. We went to the conference, and we had some downtime. We went to some of the Disney parks.
Yeah.
I had all the snacks. I mean, just so many snacks.
Karen was
all
like,
about it.
I think you have a problem.
You or me?
Me. I was like, let's try that. Let's try that. Like, and I do intermittent fasting for the most part. So like when my window opened, it was open. It was a drive-through window.
Open.
I was like, just every place. I was like, let's get this. I had like probably 3 of those Mickey head.
They're so good.
The chocolate bar.
Oh, I thought, okay, those. I had that. Everything's a Mickey head at Disney.
That's true.
Which is kind of weird if you think about it.
I mean, the one on a stick, the chocolate coated vanilla.
He's like, boy, I had that mouse head on a stick. Let me tell you, it was great. The best ever.
They're delicious, man.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it takes a week just to figure out how to do the theme parks. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like we're loaded up. We if we go back to this conference. If we go back to this conference next year,
still burping up Disney snacks.
I know.
Yeah, we had Mike
great,
and Karen and Chelsea and I. We went to get Dole Whips, and we waited for like 45 minutes. But honestly, if you've never had a Dole Whip, it's worth the wait. So good. And mine was like gone, and Mike was like, "Wow, you finished that really quick." And I was like, "Yeah, I did."
Did you go into like Gaston's Tavern?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh,
no,
it was amazing. Yeah,
really,
it was so good. And they had this like froth drink that looks like Gaston's beer, right? But it was like the froth was like marshmallow and apple juice had a baby.
Wow.
And that was the drink. It was, I can't even really describe it other than it was a heaven.
You know what's amazing is that somebody probably makes big money coming up with these Disney snacks.
I don't know.
And they're like, hey, you know what would be really cool is if you drank something and it was like, marshmallows and apples had a baby together.
An apple juice cloud.
Yeah.
That's like literally what it was.
We're blowing fat clouds, not vapes, drinks at Disney.
It was so good though. I mean, and then we had this cinnamon roll because it was like cinnamon rolls, and it was an interesting.
I almost got one, but my wife was like, "I want to have room for something else." So that's
lame.
Too big. I know, right?
Yeah, eat it.
No offense, babe. Love you.
Full on debauchery.
Yeah, I sent it, man. I think the last day we went to the Ghirardelli thing in Disney Springs.
Yeah.
And
is that how you say it, Ghirardelli?
They actually had a thing on the wall, like it's pronounced
pronunciation.
Ghirardelli, which is funny because I've always kind of been on the fence of how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But I think I spent like $16 on a Sunday there, which I'd never.
And
if you know me, you know.
Worth it.
Yeah, it was so good.
It?
Yeah, it was like probably, and it's Ghirardelli chocolate, so it was probably like $10 worth of hot fudge in that thing.
Oh man.
Yes. And if you know me, you know that I will not spend money on that sort of
cheap.
thing. I am so cheap.
Yeah.
And so when we went, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ignore my instincts for, a couple days, and I'm just going to send it. And I did. My bank account regrets it. I do not. So it was good.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like that conference and Disney, it was like a perfect pairing. Yeah. It was, oh man, it was great though. Honestly, like the speakers, the breakout sessions, the fellowship, it was just so good. I've had pastors texting me from that conference and just encouraging me. It's just so good.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I look forward to getting to know that network more, and
it
was just really fantastic.
Yep. Probably the best network ever. Second only to Cartoon Network. Probably the best network out there. The best.
The best. How did he make his way back in here? Oh, man,
he always finds a way.
That guy.
He always finds a way.
He is the world's best boss.
Yeah. Oh my.
Just ask him, he'll tell you.
Just ask. That's not what I say. That's what they tell me. I'm the best boss.
Tell me.
Anyway, so today we are talking about we have a doubleheader today.
Yeah.
We're talking about the finale from the Book of Ruth, message number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also talking about, we had a special guest speaker over the weekend because we all got home from our flights Saturday night at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So Michael Crawford came in at the 9th hour.
He was scheduled.
He was scheduled, but it really felt like he came in at the 9th hour and was like, "Hey, I got you. Let me preach the best message you've ever heard in your whole life, real quick."
And it was.
Yeah. Oh, that's him right now.
Yes!
Stop. Yes.
This is amazing.
Woo!
Hey, so we're recording a podcast about your message Sunday. So say hi to the camera.
I'm hanging up right now.
Yeah, this is the Michael Crawford, and he brought an unbelievable message Sunday. Here, just say hi to the people.
Hi, peoples. What's up, fam?
He called y'all fam.
Yeah, do you know that? If you understood how amazing that is that Michael Crawford called you fam, you would be crying right now. You would be crying.
Wow, it's flowing today, man.
Yeah, it is. Well, we just want you to know that we love you, and we're so thankful for that message that you brought. It was timely, helpful, and when are you coming back?
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
Hey,
you guys take care.
Love you so much. All right, bye. That was great.
Oh man, he was like, "Are you for real right now?"
Yeah, that was great.
He had no idea.
He did.
That was gonna.
We sprung a call on him, FaceTime, and he called me back. Can you beat that? Wow, that's
goodness.
great.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's talk
incredible.
about his message first.
Yeah, let's talk about his message first. Let's jump in here. Okay, so we are talking about Michael Crawford's message from Sunday. I believe it was titled "The Past, the Bible, and You." Am I right on that?
Something like that.
Yeah, he didn't give us notes. We usually have notes published, so I'm just kind of shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
But basically, I mean, listen. If you haven't listened to the message, please go do so because it will literally. I mean, it is perspective that I feel like I needed, and not a spin, but just and presented in a way that I've never really put together.
Yeah.
I thought it was a game changer. So if you have not listened to that, it is linked in the description, and we really want you to go listen to that. So please do so.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is what some stories in the Bible that he kind of picked from as far as like how the past affects people and what Jesus wants to do with our past.
Yeah. And to bring out, like, I think it's the verses that we kind of read over at some point, like talking about Jacob's moment where, he kind of like spills on Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Right.
It just spills out.
It's just something that you kind of overlook unless you're focused on that. And so, obviously, the Lord and through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit used Michael's background to not read into the story, but read through some of those things, and it really comes through the text. And to see Jacob just kind of like throw it all out there, and then Pharaoh's like, yeah, okay.
He's like, hey, man.
Yeah. And then who was the other example? Jacob. No, that's him.
Yeah. You're like Jacob and this.
Jacob.
And then Jacob.
Yeah. And who's the other one?
Joseph.
Wasn't there 3?
I think there was 3. Go back and listen to the message, you heathens, if you ain't listened to it yet. We were there live.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians. Paul.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, that was so good.
He talks about Paul bringing up the fact that you just can't run from the things that he had done, and so God is using your past and redeeming it into your future. Is kind of the perspective that I walked away with. Like, it's not something your past, what you've gone through. It's not something that And here, I think this is why why it's, and this just hit me in this moment.
Hit me.
Yeah, maybe
Hit me
this
so
is
hard.
why it was so
Slap me.
Jeez. You're done. Maybe this is why it was so impactful for us, but like we come from a background that the Lord saved me from that.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
Lord,
that's it.
it's erased. It's over.
He forgot about it.
Right.
He's got selective memory.
And I think for us, it was more like, it's not about, the need is not in erasing that memory. The need is redeeming it.
Uh-huh.
And that's like
Yeah.
the like the mind blown aspect of this is when you're saved from a tradition that says the past is gone. And we're not saying that it's not. We're not saying that your past is there to haunt you, but it's the fact that the Lord knows, the Lord is using, he's redeeming that. And almost like, a quality about yourself that the Lord redeems and uses. It's like that. It's its own thing that the Lord says, look, this is your story. And I didn't save you to just transform you into a robot. Like that's a part of who you are. And I'm going to give that thing purpose. So rather than running from, we are literally Joseph, right? The Lord took that which was bad and used it for his good. So the difference between Jacob and Joseph, and even Paul and Jacob really, is the aspect that thing is your past. The Bible gives clarity on the Lord redeeming that and using it in your future, in your present and future. So that's really the kind of the crux of the message.
Yeah, it was so good. And the three people, we talked about Joseph, Jacob, Jacob, Joseph, Paul, I guess if you were going in like order.
I think it was Paul.
Well, Paul,
and then I think it was Jacob.
Depending on how you organize. I'm using the Dewey system.
It was Joseph. Oh, okay.
The Dewey Decimal System. But it really just brings a ton of humanity to biblical characters.
Yeah.
And I read Genesis a lot, and usually,
How
there's
about
my
you turn
phone.
that thing off
That's
there?
my wife right now.
Every week.
I've been so good about it though.
Yeah.
It's been a couple weeks. I'm not texting her back right now.
It's been a couple weeks since we've had a podcast. No.
Yeah. That's just. I've been good for exactly a week.
Couple weeks.
Yeah. I'm good. We should put a sign on the TV like days since the last incident, 0. And it's just going to stay there.
Smart.
But anyway, you think about the humanity that is brought to these situations, and I think about Jacob. Like I read Genesis a lot, and every time I read that, I just kind of laugh at it.
Yeah.
Because it is like satirical in a way. But at the same time, like there's some real stuff there. Like the first chance he got, he was like, you know what? My years have been few, and they have been hard.
Yeah.
And Michael Crawford made a good point. And he was like, the dude was 130. Like, his years were not few. They were actually a lot.
Yeah.
But it feels like the life is sucked out of you when you're just living in trauma and living in stuff. And he proves a good point. Like we all look at this as though it was this magnificent reunion between him and his long lost son, but he was living in the reality that for decades, his other sons, like they tried to kill his favorite son and sold him into slavery, and they lied to him about it.
That's right.
And that never came out until right now. And he's in this moment, he still can't move on to the good things because he's still like wrapping his brain around decades of conversations and decades of lies and trauma and hurt. And here he is, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Joseph. He came to a place where he forgave his brothers that sold him into slavery, and he's really, him and Paul are the good examples here, because Joseph saw the horror of his past, but he allowed God to redeem that. He didn't live in it. He wasn't destroyed by it. He prospered through it because he trusted in the Lord.
Yeah.
And then you think about Paul. I mean, and one of the things that he said really stuck out to me. Like, Paul, do you still hear the screams at night of those that you killed? And I was like, wow, like I've never, out of all the times that I've heard, the story of Paul and read that line, like I've never really put that whole picture together of what exactly he probably dealt with every day.
Yep. Yeah.
As he dedicated the latter end of his life to building up the church and reaching people and having to think about that he killed and imprisoned women, children, and men, in the name of what he was doing prior. It was just, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and the fact that it's in the same time period, like went into that same ecosystem that he was trying to destroy.
Right.
It's just unreal when you think about it from that perspective, like how people received that and how no doubt there were skeptics and folks that, challenged him on that, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
So it's a unique perspective. Go and listen to the message.
Yeah, go listen to
You'll
that
be
joint.
blessed.
Yeah. Go listen.
He said that a lot.
He did say joint a lot, and I really loved it.
And we thought it was great.
Yeah, I say it ironically all the time, and he was just saying it for real, and I was like, "You're my hero. I love it." But yeah, go listen to that and allow God to redeem your past, and don't just hide it and shove it in the closet.
Yeah, it was really good.
Allow Him to redeem it. It's gone, but it's not gone.
Yeah.
You still live in that house, and you can allow God to renovate HGTV that joint, or you can live in a dumpy house. It is your choice. I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Refi that thing.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
refi. Get all of God's money. Renovate that joint.
How can we spend this thing prosperity? Let's go.
This is a good plug for my new HGTV show called Renovate That Joint, where I go in and do a very
poor job.
Very poor job renovating a house.
Or I do a crappy job myself. That's so funny. People might watch that. That'd be great. It's like, have you seen?
This is probably our best podcast yet.
Well, I don't know that you would not. This is. I'm not picking on you, but
listen, I make no bones about it. Reno is not my thing.
No, I'm saying it would be like a spoof. Like if you're into, I've been into like BJJ videos and stuff like that. So if you like look at my Instagram feed, it's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Yeah.
And there's this guy who is like a spoof, and he has, I don't know if you've seen him, he's a black guy, and it's like, he's got these guys like working for him, and these videos are like done just like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu videos or self-defense videos or like cops that
is that the guy that does like, it's like the self-defense training or whatever, and he's like awful, like
and
unironically?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, you're going to be that version of it for like home reno. You're going to be like, okay, so you take this hammer and it's like, here's the nail, whack.
Straight through the wall. But
yeah,
honestly though, that's
great.
just, it really do be like that.
It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, there's no way to candy coat it. My wife knows. She'll comment, babe, just tell him how bad I am.
You're a better mechanic than you are carpenter.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
the stuff.
It'd be like me trying to work on something. I'm not a mechanic at all.
Well, I'll work on your car, which may still be a mistake, and you could work on my house.
Yeah,
not for free, of course.
Anyway, I think that you're onto something there. Like doing, you should just like start a home improvement account.
I could probably start a very successful TikTok.
Just on that.
Just that.
Like just horrible ideas. I think honestly, like it would be fun to do.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I'm in. You heard it here first. All that spare time we got.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that was listen to that message in the description, and then to kind of tie everything up. Week number 4 of our Ruth series. Everything comes to a climax. Maybe you can speak to just kind of putting a bow on that book. Like, what are some of the stuff?
Yeah, we're just kind of multitasking here with the
doubleheader
conversation. Yeah, I think Ruth has been a source of encouragement for me on so many on so many levels. I think for me, the biggest part of chapter 3 moving into chapter 4 is that Ruth and Naomi are not mentioned. They're mentioned, but they're not present working and doing things in chapter 4. It's all about Boaz. And so really what that, the narrator, what he's trying to do and reveal and show is that when we've done all we can do, when we have, put it all out there on the threshing floor, a.k.a. Ruth was as vulnerable as she could be, as vulnerable as she's ever been put into that type of situation. And you get this real picture that her and Naomi did everything that they could do, and then the Lord. And then he steps in. The kinsman redeemer, Boaz, not only redeems Ruth, by, essentially taking her to be his wife, but he also redeems the land. He also allows the name of Elimelech to carry on. And then we also are seeing the genealogical record that Ruth's son that she has by Boaz is Jesse's dad, David's grandfather. And that's literally put, her relationship with Boaz puts her into the genealogical record with Jesus. So it's just mind blowing to see that if you are in a position where you are doing all that you can do, you don't know what's next, it's okay. Like, that's a perfect spot for the Lord to redeem that situation. And maybe it's your past. Maybe it's what we've been talking about with Michael Crawford. Like, when we are in those situations, the Lord thrives in the miraculous. He thrives in the supernatural, not in the natural. Anybody can do natural stuff, but it's him. When he brings the miracles and the Spirit of God shows up, that's when he takes over. And so I think that maybe you're in a certain situation that you're wondering what you're going to do. And maybe you just need to stop and say, Lord, like, I'm turning this thing over. I'm not wondering how I'm going to handle this anymore. I'm ready to see how you're going to handle it. And that's kind of the chapter 4 of Ruth when it closes out. It's like everything that the Lord promised comes to fruition. And all of that was started in Ruth chapter 1, verse 16, 17, and 18, where she says, look, Naomi, where you go, I'm going to go. Your God will be my God. That promise, that decision to be decisively loyal to Yahweh, the God of Israel, that her sowing into that she reaped incredible benefits, eternal benefits from that. So I think that's just like the story in a nutshell of what I really enjoy about chapter 4. And there's a lot of other things in there, but that's the general synopsis of it.
Yeah, but think about everything that stems from the story. Jesus was both a son of God and a descendant of David. And David was a product of Ruth's decisive loyalty.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, all of these things, like the scriptural narrative as we know it, it all roots, it finds its root in the story of Ruth, and the fact that she chose to be loyal, and she chose to be obedient and trust in the Lord.
Yeah.
All everything that follows after that is a result of that.
Yeah.
And what a great story that just displays great faith, great loyalty, and so much more. But if you haven't listened to that message, it's also linked in the description.
Yeah.
And man, you want to tell them where we're going next, or you want to leave it as a surprise?
I think we should reward our faithful too.
We should reward our listeners.
Yeah. Whoever you are. Yeah, we're going to head to the Book of Habakkuk. I'm really excited about this. There was no and I know some pastors do a yearly preaching calendar, and we talked about that, but it's just kind of not our thing. We've got really strong ideas of what's next, but we're holding it loosely in the sense that, if the Spirit of God moves us, we're turning into this Baptist-costal strange thing. Strange but not strange fire. Is that a possibility? Anyway,
estranged fire.
That's funny. But yeah, I think that we want to leave some of those things open. I know there's 3 books that I have in mind that I'd like to go to next. And I'm kind of reading in those areas, as far as for my own walk with the Lord. So I think that, there's options of where this thing's headed. But I prayed and I said, Lord, I knew I had kind of a bye week, if you will, with Michael Crawford preaching, and I just prayed. I said, Holy Spirit, tell me where you want us to go next. And instantly, the Book of Habakkuk came to mind. And I was telling Cody, I was like, it's just not that's not a normal name. So I felt like I had affirmation immediately that that's where we needed to head. And
that's strange. That's got to be it.
I know exactly. But so I paused and read the book. Just start to finish. It's very small, and I was like, this is exactly where we need to be. It was just really, really good. So we're heading into Habakkuk this Sunday, and so read ahead and check it out. You could read it in one sitting very quickly.
Very quickly.
So another small book, Minor Prophet. Really, it's
read it 7 times before Sunday.
But Habakkuk and I think Zephaniah, I think are the two, the pairing there. And really all the minor prophets are, you could pair
12.
them. Yeah, the 12, hashtag the 12. Have you read that commentary set, the 12?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's a set on Logos. I thought that was interesting. I started reading some of that, but it's pretty good.
Is the commentary just on the minor prophets as a whole?
The 12.
I may have it.
That's
I
what
know
it's
I
called.
have one. That,
When you said the title, that's why I was thinking.
Oh no, I just
Yeah.
shorthand. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we'll be blessed by it, and I definitely feel like it's fitting the season that we're in. We're finishing up on Wednesday nights, and maybe this is a plug for you if you're local. Wednesday nights have been really neat and unique. Changing that time to 6:30. We're having a prayer time, a focused prayer time, and then a short Bible study, 30 minutes. Which it ends up being typically around 25 minutes, 25 to 30.
You have been good on time.
Yeah,
If you're watching this and you haven't been coming on Wednesdays because of the time,
it's a lot better.
it's a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
We're out by 7:30.
Yep, your choice. If you want to stick around and chit
Which is
chat.
unfortunate for me because I was playing Mafia with the kids last night, and I was like, okay, we got to hurry up and get to our small group lesson real quick because I know he's going to be out.
Yeah, it's you can stay and fellowship and hang out, but if you need to go, if you need to get the kids home and get them to bed, it's an option now. So anyway, but we've been covering prayer in the beginning few weeks here of the new year, and so this is going to be a unique perspective on prayer. You're going to see, a prophet really in a raw cry to the Lord of disagreement. I think we can use that word, and just see his perspective shift and change about what the Lord is doing through really an enemy, an enemy nation, Babylon. But anyway, I think it's going to be very helpful, very good. We're heading into that book if you want to read ahead, but we'll probably only cover the first maybe 5 verses. I think it's 5, which is his first initial prayer. Yeah. And then the Lord's response. But they kind of go back and forth, the Lord and Habakkuk, 2 different times, and then he kind of like summarizes at the end. Not summarizes, but he gives this like song of praise at the end. So it ends really good, but it's not always.
It's a long, dark tunnel with a bright light at the end.
Yeah, it's not always your past, right? These themes that the Lord keeps bringing up in our church, it's just not always a bed of roses. And so we have to learn that the Lord wants to work in that, and he's not avoiding it. Yeah. So it's going to be good.
Yeah. So join us on Sunday in person or online, preferably in person.
Preferably. 10 o'clock.
Because it's just not the same if you're not. 10 a.m. Yeah. We're going to send out a text and email about that just to remind you. But yeah, we're super excited. So thanks for hanging out with us today. And God bless you less. We will see you on Sunday and next week.
Adios.
Adios. Adios.